If you finished your 200-hour yoga teacher training and you want to go out there and teach professionally, get a job teaching, and still be teaching 2 years down the line without spending any more money, without doing a mentorship, without doing an internship, without doing any continuing education, it is possible. But it is very, 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 very unlikely. And I'm going to tell you why. If you are a new yoga teacher and you want to go from registered yoga teacher to professional yoga teacher, this video is for you. If we haven't met before, hello, I am Jackie Gladney, and this is my sidekick, Hercules. I have been teaching yoga for over a decade. I'm an ERYT 500. I own a registered yoga school, and I'm a continuing education provider. I've owned a yoga studio. I've taught thousands of students, and I've led hundreds of teachers through teacher trainings. I've led retreats and teacher trainings all over the world, and I've received awards for my teaching. But it was not always that way for me. Over a decade ago, I followed my calling and bit the bullet and signed up for that expensive yoga teacher training and spent all my hard-earned money on it. I worked my booty off, completed the course, and at the end received my 200-hour certificate. But I felt like a failure because my teaching, I wasn't confident, and it was definitely not at a professional level where it needed to be, and I didn't know what to do. So I immediately signed up for another 200-hour teacher training that was starting the following month, hoping that I can go through it and retain more information. After that second 200-hour, I did retain more information, and my teaching had improved a little bit, but I was still nowhere near the level that I needed to be to work professionally as a teacher. And I'll never forget how that felt. I felt so alone and lost. I no longer had my facilitators from these teacher trainings to walk me and guide me every single step of the way, and I was out there on my own. I was embarrassed and ashamed, and I felt like I had nothing to show for all of the work I had just done and all of the money I had just spent. I felt like I was bad at teaching. I just wasn't good at it. I was overwhelmed. There were so many programs that I could take next, and I didn't know what I should do. I knew that I wanted to teach with every fiber of my being, but I felt like a failure who was lost without any guidance. I thought maybe I'm just not cut out for this. I'm just not a good teacher. I guess I'm not one of the lucky ones. I guess the timing didn't work out for me. I guess it's just not for me. But I was so lucky, kind of in that darkness, to find a mentor who I hired to work with me, and she was invested in me and amazing, and she helped me to get myself to the professional level where I can actually audition and get a job teaching. After my mentorship, I applied for an internship, which I was accepted into, and I completed, and I was able to further grow my teaching and learn about the professional side of yoga. And after that, I transitioned kind of into a career teaching. There were many hiccups and many trainings and many mistakes, but now here I am today making this video for you. And I don't ever want a teacher to feel how I felt. So if you have recently completed your training and you're feeling overwhelmed or alone, or you're feeling like you're not good enough, you're not really sure what to do next, don't worry. We've got this. I'm here for you. Let's work together. I'll be your mentor, and we will get you there in 10 weeks to that professional place. We've got this. You've got me, and you've got my experience. You know, over the past decade, I saw all of these teachers kind of go through trainings, and then they didn't end up working professionally after, and I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of teachers and learn what worked for them, and I've actually connected with thousands of them. And I've taken polls of different teachers, and really I've learned that there are 3 kind of specific steps that the teachers who end up being professional take that the ones who don't end up being professional didn't take. And I'd like to share those with you here. So the first one is having a mentor. Now, a mentor is going to help get your teaching to the professional level, as well as answer your questions and be able to give you the awesome feedback that you need. In 2018, the Yoga Alliance conducted the Standards Review Survey, where they surveyed over 12,000 yoga teachers. And when the yoga teachers were asked, what is the most important component to becoming a professional teacher, 60% of the teachers said that a mentor is equally as important as your initial 200-hour training. And 15% of teachers said that a mentor is more important than your first 200 hours of training. So that's 75% of teachers agree that a mentor is either just as important or more important than your first 200 hours. So you've got to get a mentor. Number 2 is continuing education. So in that same survey, 99% of teachers said that they either already have done continuing education or they're planning on it. So the 200-hour is like just the beginning. Of all the polls that I've done, the most recent one I did, I surveyed over 500 yoga teachers, and I have screenshots that I can share with you of these results. And what I found is, of the teachers who have been working more than 2 years professionally, out of hundreds, there were 500 that responded. There were only 2 who didn't do any more trainings. They did their initial 200-hour, and now they're still working 2 years later. All of the other hundreds of teachers, they did additional trainings, they went through mentorships, and they're planning on doing more trainings. So it's important to know that if you are wanting to teach as a career and make money and be professional, that you need to invest in yourself. And the first 200 hours is just the initial investment. And after that, it will take getting a mentor, and you will be paying for continuing education. Most likely, you might be one of those 2 people, but it's not probable. And the third is kind of what you do in that first year after training. It's so important to start teaching right away after you finish your training. Of the teachers that I surveyed who are not teaching yoga, of the ones who did not teach regularly in their first year after they finished teacher training, I was not Hercules, pardon him. I wasn't able to find one that ended up teaching after that. So it's kind of like you have to start teaching in that first year in order to teach ever. I had all these teachers, express interest and desire and goals of teaching, but if they didn't teach regularly during that first year after training, I didn't find anybody that ever did yet. It's possible, but it's not likely. Now, I know that you can feel kind of like embarrassed and unsure, and you don't know where to find students, and it's hard to keep yourself accountable to teach regularly and to get a mentor and to have continuing education. And it can be so overwhelming, especially like in this COVID world where there aren't really studios that are open and thriving, and a studio owner who's personally invested in you and growing the business. If you have that, great, you're all covered. But really, this is where I come in, and I've utilized my experience to put together an awesome program called the YogaPro Academy, where we cover all of those bases. And this is a program that is proven, and it's working now for teachers. And I would love to work with you as your mentor starting in January, so that we can get you kind of to this professional place. So in this program, it's 10 weeks. We work on your teaching and your cueing and your class format and sequence, and you actually spend 30 days teaching 30 classes kind of to each other, and you get feedback from each other. You can also kind of upgrade to work with me one-on-one, and you can teach me your class, and I will give you direct feedback. And so you're kind of getting to that professional level within the first 6 weeks that we are working together. And the rest of the program kind of handles all of the professional side of things. So how to market yourself, how to put together a program, what is it about you that you really want to offer, who do you want to target, and do you have something here that you can actually charge for? How much do you charge? How do you get a job as a teacher? How do you ask for a raise? How do you offer workshops and retreats? How do you teach online? How do you navigate the whole online kind of COVID world of yoga? We cover all of this in 10 weeks. We do 20 modules together. And honestly, we get you to that professional level kind of right now, right away. And the investment, it's less expensive than many, many continuing education programs that are out there. Now, you probably will go and do more training, but I recommend doing something like this first, getting yourself to that professional level first, gets to making some money first, and then go and decide which other trainings you want to do after that. Now, you will get continuing education hours signing up for this course with me. And if you are serious about going from registered yoga teacher to professional working yoga teacher, I really encourage you to take this opportunity and to work with me. We start on January 5th. And the next 2 days, I'm taking calls. So if you think that you maybe want to work with me, but you're not sure, you just go ahead and sign up for a time slot and we will hop on a call and we'll figure it out. So you've got me. Let's do this together. I am so excited to assist you in making 2021 the year that you become a professional yoga teacher.